All right, good afternoon. I'm just going to give you a brief update on where we're at. I know I've been getting a lot of calls just to talk to us about the progress of the investigation. Just to go over quickly what we know now, approximately 3 p.m. yesterday, Philadelphia Police responded to 7300 Rising Sun Avenue for a report of multiple people shot. When the officers arrived, they found 8 juveniles shot at that location. All the juveniles were taken to various hospitals. Now I can tell you that at least 3 went over to Einstein Medical. Jeans Hospital took 1, and Jefferson Tarsdale took 4 individuals to the hospital. Moving through that, we had 1 17-year-old male, 4 16-year-old males, 1 16-year-old female, and 2 15-year-old males. All of those victims were students at Northeast High School. One of the individuals shot, the male who was, I believe, 17 years of age, was shot 9 times. He went to Jefferson Tarsdale in critical. He's still in critical. We checked on him today. I am told that the doctors are optimistic. We have to get through today, but they're looking to hopefully upgrade him at some point. So right now he's in the hospital, and he needs people to keep him in their prayers to move along. So the investigation last night, we did a lot of interviews. We pulled video from various locations. Some of it we got out to use very quickly. You've seen in the video, there's a blue vehicle that it appears the 3 individuals responsible for this, after they perpetrate the crime, they retreat back to the car and it pulls away. So we now know, because that car wasn't driving itself, that there's a 4th individual in the car. I don't have much of a description of that individual. Last night at approximately 10:31 p.m., Highway Patrol officers working did recover a 2018 blue Hyundai Sonata. That was up in the 400 block of West Fern Street. We do believe through our investigation this is the car involved and the car that you see on the video. So that car was towed to our facility where we process vehicles. Because of the weather yesterday, we had to take that vehicle inside, and we're going to do everything we can today to get our forensic evidence and other evidence from that vehicle, but we had to let it sit and dry out. So give you a little background on that car. That car was stolen from the 7th District, a location up in the 7th District. When officers went to take the report on that stolen car back on the 2nd of March, they found another stolen car parked there. Okay, so based on our investigation, and that was a Kia, it was a gray Kia Sportage. Based on our investigation, right, that car was taken to that location, and the individuals exited that car and then stole the Hyundai. So that car, we believe, is involved with the car you've seen yesterday. So that was also recovered. We are also looking to pull as much forensic data out of that car that we possibly can during the course of this investigation. That had been previously towed to a lot. It was still there, so we're going to use that to help in this case. And we did several interviews in the area of that theft. People did see things. We had some video we were able to recover there and some other places. So things are starting to come together based on the video that you put out yesterday. We have received numerous tips, and we are working on them tips. We encourage people to continue that, because some of those tips are corroborating information we have that I can't talk about yet, but we are moving towards knowing more about what happened yesterday and who we may be looking for. All right?
Is it safe to say that you think that this is 2 groups, one group from MOTEP and one group from Northeast High School that this is possible retaliation?
So we are looking at the motives. I'm not going to talk about groups because I can't do that at this point in time. I know that information is out there. We're fact finders here, so I need to stay with the facts, prove who did this, and get that into court. we are well aware that there could be previous incidents that connect to this, but I could tell you things that we look for to connect are ballistics, individuals, witnesses. We're not getting a lot of that. Some of this is the neighborhood talking and some of our intel work, but we need to do a lot more to say if that one's connected to the other. I don't have ballistic connections to this or any other case yet. That evidence is just being submitted and looked at. So there's a lot more work to do to say definitively this connects to other incidents or one's connected to the other. But we're certainly looking at that.
Yes, Captain, you've had four shootings on or around bus stops this week since Sunday. This is happening as overall shootings citywide are going down. I think the last time we checked yesterday was like 30% fewer homicides this year so far.
Yep.
What do you make of the fact that these shootings are happening at the bus stop? Are people just because they're at bus stops, or what? What do you think?
Well, two of those shootings are arguments that occurred on the buses. One of them on Castor Avenue Sunday. They stepped off the bus and then the shooting occurred. The job on Snyder Avenue, the fight happened on the bus. It turned physical, and then as the male exited, he turned around and fired the gun back into the bus. So they really were just arguments that happened in the SEPTA system. There's not much we could do. We're working very hard to identify, and we're working with SEPTA on that to identify the perpetrators in those cases.
What is your message to commuters?
Well, we're going to do everything we can. They're going to increase our SEPTA checks. I know SEPTA is going to increase their presence on the line, like the chief said yesterday. The incidents that occurred at the bus stops is what I'm really here talking about today. They're concerning. Nobody was really on the bus. These are individuals shooting at a crowd of kids. I mean, total between the two incidents, 11 kids were shot at. That's really concerning. So we need people to see that, be as angry as everyone else is, and let us know who did this so we could end this rather quickly. If they are connected, and I don't know if they are, we want to end this dispute very quickly.
What about stolen car? Is there, how many, when you found that stolen car in the 7th district, was there video from where that original car was stolen? Did they dump the car, they take the blue car? Were you able to piece those videos?
We are. We're doing that now. We're obviously, some of the video collection these days is not as easy as you think. We have to obtain a warrant to get that video, especially if it's a private camera. But we're doing all that. It's all in progress, and we're working through it.
But at this point, you think the group involved with the shooting yesterday, stole that original Kia, shot that Monday?
Well, we don't know yet, but we know, the time frame's close, and whoever had that car had to hand it off to somebody else. So we need to identify them, and if they're the same people, that's fine. If they're not, they're going to be able to lead us to those people.
What about license plate readers? Is the police department using them to track this down?
Well, we do. We use as many as we can. They change license plates to put paper tags on, but we do everything we can to get back to where the car was seen during that period of time. Yep.
Do you know what kind of guns were used, and if any were the fully automatics, like the one that was used on Monday?
Right. So yesterday's incident, I do not have anything that tells us that the switch was used. However, there were 34 fired cartridge casings, 3 different handguns. You've seen 3 perpetrators. There was 40 caliber, 45 caliber, and 9mm. So we know we had 3 different guns that were used yesterday and they left that evidence at the scene. We're working through that too.
Clearly, those shooters knew that that group was going to be at that bus stop. In the wake of how easy it is to find people by their routine, is there any kind of change or anything that you recommend to easier in terms of how to transport things back and forth?
I don't really know the motive here. So, I mean, the incident yesterday, these individuals went right towards that crowd. It appears the individual that was most critical seemed to be a focal point, but I'm not sure of that. And the incident that occurred on Monday, we believe the decedent in that case was targeted. We just know from the way them actions in the video were. But right now, I wouldn't say that, a routine change. We're going to change our routine and be more present in those corridors during those times.
Commissioner, is there other plans to have more police outside schools as we move forward?
Yes, I'm not going to talk about all our plans, but it's certainly being worked on. There's a plan that our patrol and the police commissioner has put into effect. I think you're going to see more officers in those corridors around the schools and in the SEPTA routes starting today.
What about the bus that was shot, that wound up being processed at the transportation center?
Yeah, so the bus that was at the location that pulls away, there's actually two buses going by in different directions. Both of them were struck by gunfire. No one inside those buses were injured yesterday. However, we did recover some video from those buses and pieced it together with our video. It just gives us a different view. The males with the guns, and you've seen the photos that we released, are obviously covered up. So we're using that video to try to help us.
My question was, how did they realize that the buses were struck, and why weren't the buses pulled over, a block or two away?
I don't know. I'm not sure of that. I could try to get you that answer, but I don't know.
Any indication that social media, some kind of beef or trouble might have been an issue that ignited this?
We're looking back at social media. We're looking at it now. We're looking back. We have preservation in because, as you know, people start to wipe things out. So that our criminal intelligence unit is actively working on that. I'm not going to identify anyone or talk about what's being noticed, but we're certainly looking at things to see who's connected to who and who's speaking about it online, so we could lead us in a new direction maybe.
Commissioner, this week, it's a fact that the teenagers are carrying guns. So at this time, how is working the police, or how would work to avoid in the future, I'm telling summer, maybe when all the people is out, and, to avoid situations like that?
Well, I'm always concerned when a juvenile has a firearm because they're not permitted to have one legally in any case. So if you know of one that's carrying one, that's something we'd love to hear about. And you can call 911, you can call our tip line. But officers are definitely going to be in those corridors where these individuals are known to frequent, and I'm sure during the course of their duties, they're going to make sure that if they see something and they could legally make a stop, they're going to do that.
Deputy Commissioner,
The police department, the police department is working in any plan in the future because any plan, because the curfew is not working, people say.
Right.
So,
So I could just tell you that the police commissioner will have more details on his plan. That's coming shortly. So, and you'll hear that, but there is an active plan to reduce these incidents in these areas. And that it's all based on targeted, directed patrol and investigation.
you just mentioned tips. You're asking for the public's help. You put out the video last night of the latest shooting. Can you talk to us about the quantity and quality of tips that you received today for the last shooting and the other three?
We're getting decent tips. Sometimes we don't get an exact name, but it'll lead us in a direction. So, and if somebody thinks it's insignificant, I'll give you an example without being specific. Somebody said, I seen somebody who looked like those individuals coming out of a store a few hours earlier, this location. That's fine, because we can go back to that location and check the video. And sometimes those do pan out. And sometimes people that cover themselves up in an incident aren't covered up 2 hours before. So that's helpful. So we're working on that. So anything you may have, we're hoping that you give us a call and share it with us.
Gotten a dozen tips, 100 tips.
I don't have a number, but we've had several tips during the course of the night, so it was good. It was good information.
Just follow up for clarity. You said of these 4 shootings, you don't know if they're connected. You don't have any suspects' names. There's been no arrest. No cars involved have been found.
No, there's nothing connecting the 2 incidents right now definitively. All right, the other 2 incidents were just arguments on SEPTA's line, and they were isolated incidents that occurred in those particular incidences. These 2 with the juveniles, we are working to see if there's any connection to these incidents. There's some kind of dispute that happens before, we don't know where, we don't know how, and it led to this violence. So we're working on that.
Can you tell the public if you're close? Are you close to making, how close are you to announcing this?
Well, we'll talk about that. We have to talk to the district attorney and go over our evidence, and once we do, we'll let you know.
Commissioner, you know where the bus, the car was coming from before it parked?
So if you know where that Dunkin' Donuts is, where the shooting happened, it parked behind to the left if I was facing Rising Sun Avenue, and then it exited on Rising Sun going in the north direction, I guess.
Came in from?
It came in the rear there.
All right, we're going to do 2 more questions. We're going to do 2 more questions, folks.
The 107 district
I'm not going to give the location, just to not identify any other witnesses or anybody we have.
But the Hyundai was found in the 7th.
It was found in the 7th district, yep.
The car was stolen, and we know that it was found with paper plates. Can you give us a sense as to how the paper plates play into the investigation, and perhaps an update on the automatic readers? I understand that the department now has 130 installed.
Right, we're working on that. We did receive that through a grant. I know that we're going to have more access to the readers shortly. But as far as paper plates, if they don't register to the car, it makes it more difficult to us. So we'd have to go back in time to look for the regular plate or see if we could see when it changed. So I don't have that answer for you. Obviously, if the paper plate is registered to the car, if it's legally a temp tag, that'll help us and lead us to the owner or at least the operator of the car. But if it's not, if it's put on there in a fraudulent manner, then it becomes problematic. All right?
Commissioner, do you have a message to parents real quickly about whose kids have to take SEPTA and maybe worried that they might get caught in crossfire when these bus stops?
Well, we're going to be out there, but one of the things I have for parents is if they know something about this, and most parents do, look at your child's social media, listen to what they're saying, and if they're concerned about their safety because of things like that, they should call the police and let us know, so we could try to, get in between and, mediate this before it turns into violence. All right, thanks.
Thanks, everyone.